Welcome to the Hidden Homestead. My name is David, and today we're going to be building this thing. If you don't know what it is, I'll explain it right after the intro. Alright guys, thanks for joining me today here in the workshop, and we are going to be building this Kydex press. Now, as many of you know, I am a student at the Sonoran Desert Institute, and one of the courses is Custom Kydex Lab. In that lab, I had to build a Kydex press for part of the project so that I could actually build a holster. So the recommended press that they wanted me to build was like the hinged taco holster. I wanted to go above and beyond and overdo it like I normally tend to do here on this channel. So I decided to build this one. Now, I gotta first say that this is not my design. This is not my brainchild. I went on the intranets to find a good Kydex press, or a DIY homemade Kydex press, and I came across this one in a picture on Reddit. Don't really know any of the specifics other than I just seen the picture on Reddit. So whoever that was on Reddit, I got to give them credit for this design. I took it and built it. Now, it's pretty much based on what I think he did. I just looked at the picture and that's what I did. Now, the reason I wanted to do this opposed to the taco style is because as your foam breaks down, essentially the foam will break down, but where that hinge is, you're never going to be able to apply more pressure, right? You're going to have to overcompensate and apply the pressure out here where your, look like Pac-Man trying to fight each other, where your clamps are. So yeah, the problem with that is you don't get nice even pressure across the whole workpiece, where this one, I can crank it down, it's going to provide even pressure, and I have room. This does wobble a little bit, and I'm going to experiment with this a little bit more. But I got the chance to put clamps kind of all the way around this thing and then really squish it down pretty hard. The other benefit of this one is that I can easily do multiple sheaths or holsters in this thing, because where the one with the hinges, I kind of just got to slide it through one end. This I can go from the back and go from kind of the side. Yes, I do have this frame right here, but there's more space for me to cram things in. Yeah, so basically I can do more holsters and more sheaths with that. So stay tuned to the end of the video, because I'm going to be doing a kind of a prototype holster using this thing, and I'll explain what that prototype is at the end of the video. Alright, so I got all my pieces cut out and sanded. I just sanded them to knock off some of the fuzz left behind when I cut it with the saw. Obviously with the saw, that was silly. But so I've got 4 12x12 pieces here. I've got 6 12.25 and 6 18.25. And then these were just left over from what was left from cutting these. They're roughly 12 inches, like 11.5. Basically, as I cut these out, these are on the end, and I just cut these equally. So I've got a top and I got a bottom. We're going to glue and screw these together, and then once we glue the foam here on either side, this is where the actual press will be. These are just going to be for support underneath this bottom piece. Essentially going to set on top like that. And these are essentially going to be the frame that kind of holds it all together and is where the screw goes through to press. So what we're going to do is lay them out short, short, then we'll switch it and do a long, short, short, switch it again, and do a, what happened there? Well, there we go. It's like a weird jigsaw puzzle. And essentially, that's what we're going to end up with. That's going to be our frame. that's going to sit upright, and is how basically the screw is going to be able to apply the force to clamp this together. So let's get everything glued and screwed, and then we'll go to the next step. So, while we wait on the glue to dry, right now is a good time to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, and that is thehiddenhomesteadstore.com. At thehiddenhomesteadstore.com, we got swag, merchandise, all that cool stuff. We also sell our beard oil and the things that I make here in the workshop, tomahawk, knife, blacksmith stuff, things and stuff. Go check it out if you're interested, and at checkout, use discount code HiddenHomestead to receive 10% off of your order. Something else that we're going to talk about while that glue is drying is how we're going to prep these scrap pieces. Basically, all we're going to do is use a Craig jig and put some pocket holes in here for the pocket screws, and that is going to be screwed and glued to the bottom of that. Something else that we're going to do to help secure everything is take this cheap plastic cutting board. Got it at the dollar store for $1.25. Yeah, it's just cheap plastic. Now, the reason I'm using plastic and not wood is because this will glide a little better over the wood frame, than if it was just wood. So we're going to cut this down, and essentially what this is going to do is keep the upper plate for the foam, keep that from swinging one way or the other. It's going to keep it stationary, so it goes all the way down vertically, perpendicularly. It goes straight up and down and doesn't swing or try to shift from one side to the other. So we're going to get this thing cut out and start prepping these. Alright, so we got everything ready to assemble. Now this is the bottom of my bottom piece. Here's the top. and we got our frame. What I've done is found center, then I measured out 1 1/8 inch from center, giving me 2 1/4 inch space between these two lines. The reason I did that is because this is 2 1/4 inch wide, so once we put these on and set it on here, this will kind of sandwich on either side of this with just a little bit of a play. I do have just enough so it's not super tight and awkward to get in there. But that'll stabilize it to here, and then these ones out here will stabilize it from, you know, tipping this way. Then this one is ready to go up there. We do still have to drill our hole for the press right here, but we'll get this set ready to go, get our foam on, and then we'll worry about that. So let's get these on there, and then the bottom will pretty much be set ready to go. All right, so we're getting ready to glue the foam to the bottom and the top plate. As some of you may know, I am a student at SDI. For whatever reason, instead of sending a 12 by 12 piece of foam, they sent 8 by 12 pieces of foam. Now, I made this specifically for a 12 by 12, which I have, but I figured I might as well just use these up first. And then once they kind of wear out after however long, I can switch them out. So just to keep it a little clean, so I'm not overspraying the spray glue here, I just taped everything up. So just going to spray some on here. Now, for this stuff, once it gets tacky, that's when you can put it on. So we're gonna let it set. I'll reposition the camera and you can, you know, watch me put it on if you want to. But that's what we're gonna do. All right, so I just about finished with this project and I have ran into a bit of a hiccup. The reason I ran into a hiccup is because when I designed it or took measurements for it, I based it off a part that I didn't have in my hands, and I just looked at pictures online and found some measurements, and that's what I based it on. That part didn't come in time, so I went ahead. I had to have this done for SDI, so I went ahead and pushed forward and just used a clamp in here to make it work for the assignment. But the part that I was waiting on was this screw press. Now, when I took the measurements or found the measurements online, those measurements was from here to here, and that's what I built it on. The problem with that is that if I was to use that, the handle is underneath the surface here. And well, you can't really crank it up or down if that's there. That's not good. I could just cut this, but I'd be taking away some strength from this piece right here, and it could pop up or something. I don't want to do that. So what I'm gonna have to do, obviously, is to get that handle above the top of this, I'm gonna have to put an extra plate underneath here. It's about 1 inch, so I'm gonna have to use like a 3/4 inch and maybe 1/2 inch. If I have a 1/4 inch ply, I'll use it. That's not super bad because that will help distribute more of the weight out to this edge. It'll just make the whole thing a little stronger, but it does also take away how much I have to lift. So if I have to clamp something super thick, you know, how thick am I going to be clamping? I don't know, but I'm going to end up cutting a plate. We'll put that on and drill a hole up here, and then continue on and try to get this thing finished up. And before there's any comments, or if you've already made a comment, yes, I know one of the glue rollers works way better. I know that. I know that. I don't have one. So yeah. All right, guys, hopefully you liked that video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. And if you didn't like it, go ahead and hit the thumbs down button. You know, really, I don't understand why YouTube took away the dislike count. Like, how many people had to cry to YouTube that he didn't like my video? Like, grow up. Like, people don't like everything that you do. Grow up, be an adult. I understand that. I understand not everyone likes the things that I put out on YouTube, and that's okay, because I, for the most part, do, and since it's my channel, I get to do what I want. But, that being said, so if you dislike the video, leave me a comment. The decent thing to do will be leave me a comment and tell me why I suck and why this video is stupid. That would be awesome. Leave me a comment so that way I can make better videos so that you can then hit that thumbs up button. Awesome. Also, consider subscribing to the channel. It's free and it takes less than a second. It helps the channel out a ton, so that would be awesome. Also, something else that helps the channel out a ton, my Patreons. I love you guys, my current Patreons. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. You guys are awesome. If you want to become a Patreon of the Hidden Homestead, there is a link right down in the description below. So, what was I talking about with the prototype holster that I was doing? So if you've been around for a little bit, especially with my Patreons, you know that I've been designing a chest rig. This chest rig is for not just for tactical LARPing use, it's kind of a jack of all trades. So hunting, fishing, backpacking, tactical, dirt biking, mountain biking, whatever the case may be, it can accommodate. So just today, I finally decided to pull the trigger on a new organization to help me get the patent. The organization that I was dealing with, nothing against them, they cater directly or specifically for veterans. They deal with specific veterans. Did that make sense? It's pretty much about veterans. And everything is pro bono. Their attorneys are pro bono. The problem with that is it's pro bono, so it just takes forever. I've been waiting around for a year and I haven't even got the search to make sure that my idea is even patentable. Like, does someone else have that idea? That's a long time. It's just time that's been wasted. So I finally got a hold of InventHelp. This video is not sponsored by InventHelp, but I will say that the process very easy, very streamlined, and if all you want, which is mainly the big thing that I want, is the search to make sure that your idea is patentable, it is by far the cheapest option to do that. 235 bucks, and they send it to the attorneys, they search it, give you an opinion, yes, it's patentable, no, it's not, and then we go from there. That's the biggest thing. Everything I looked at, I can submit all the applications to the patent office myself. It's just a search. So if you're considering inventing something or have an idea that's patentable, reach out to Invent Help. Now, their whole package is pretty spendy. You do get a lot, but I just wanted that search. So I'm pretty excited because within about 5 to 7 business days, I should have an opinion on whether or not my idea is patentable. And then within a few months, maybe a month, depending on how long it takes me to submit the application and have it reviewed, I will finally have a patent pending for the chest rig that I've been working on, and we'll go from there. That's about all I can tell you with it right now. I'm pretty stoked about that, but with the holster, the whole concept behind that holster is the same premise behind the chest rig. I want it to be accommodating, to accommodate different situations, to be adaptable. So hopefully that holster goes along with it. More to come on that. So anyway, I believe that's all that I've got for you guys. Love you. Peace out. Check you later. Check you later? Who says that?